everyone, and welcome to this presentation. My name is Sanab, and today I'll be discussing my research on toxic leadership as it was portrayed in the film Horrible Bosses, released in 2011. This project was for my class in Psychology of Leadership, and we will be exploring different leadership theories and how they impact organization and individuals. For the core framework, we studied in the book New Psychology of Leadership, and that explains how leaders shape group identity, influences behavior, and either inspires or manipulates followers. I chose Horrible Bosses as my case study because it humorously but accurately portrays extreme examples of toxic leadership. The two characters that I focused on from the film was Dr. Julia Harris and Dave Harkin, which embody different types of leadership behaviors that negatively impact their employee. Through this analysis, I aim to illustrate how power can be abused in professional settings and why ethical leadership is crucial in maintaining a healthy workplace. Going over our poster, we first did our introduction, and then we'll be jumping onto the methods, and then character analysis, and then finding and implications, and lastly conclusion. Jumping into our methods, I first identified the key leadership behaviors exhibited by Dr. Julia Harris and Dave Harkin in Horrible Bosses. I then categorized their actions through concepts from the New Psychology of Leadership book, focusing on how they misuse their leadership roles to control, manipulate, and harm their employees. I also examined their impact on subordinate Dale and Nick by assessing how workplace stress, fear, and manipulation affected their mental well-being and professional performance. Character analysis. Our first character is Dr. Julia Harris, which is played by Jennifer Aniston, is a textbook example of toxic leader who engages in sexual harassment and manipulation. As a dentist, she holds a position of power over her assistant Dale. She uses this authority to coerce him into an uncomfortable situation, frequently making inappropriate advances and threatening his job security if he does not comply. This type of toxic leadership is harmful because it exploits power imbalances in the workplace. Dale, as a subordinate, feels helpless because rejecting Dr. Harris's advances could cost him his job. His mental health suffers a lot as he constantly feels this pressure and he feels trapped in this hostile work environment. Dr. Harris's leadership styles align a lot with the concepts of identifying leadership abuse, where a leader manipulates a group dynamic for personal gain rather than for the benefit of the organization or employees. Instead of fostering teamwork and supportive environment, she fosters fears, coercions, and a lack of professional boundaries. For character 2 is Dave Harkin, played by Kevin Spacey, which represents another form of toxic leadership, one rooted in micromanagement, control, and psychological abuse. As Nick's boss, he enforces strict rules, monitors every aspect of Nick's work, and frequently belittles him. Harkin deliberately creates a me versus them culture in the workplace, and he asserts himself as superior or unchangeable. This kind of leadership is particularly damaging because it fosters stress, burnout, and job dissatisfaction. Nick, like many employees under controlling bosses, feels undervalued, powerless, and demotivated. Harkin's leadership approach fits with the destructive identity leadership, where leaders use their position to reinforce their dominance rather than uplift their team. This tactic creates a toxic work culture, leaving employees feeling disillusioned and emotionally drained. Now, jumping on to our finding and implications, my research highlights 3 major takeaways regarding toxic leadership and its effect. Toxic leadership leads to severe mental health distress. Number 1, both Dale and Nick experience anxiety, fear, stress due to their respective bosses. Workplace harassment and manipulation erodes employee well-being. Number 2, toxic leadership misuses identity leadership for personal gain. Dr. Harris uses her position to harass Dale, disregarding professional ethics, whereas Harkin enforces strict control, making his employees feel powerless. Both leaders manipulate their employees instead of supporting them. Number 3, toxic workplace environments reduces motivation and productivity. Employees under toxic leadership feel undervalued and demoralized. High-stress workplaces often lead to burnout and resignation. The film, while exaggerated for comedic effect, highlights very real issues present in corporate settings. From harassment to power abuse, these behaviors create damaging work environment that impact both employees and organizational success. In conclusion, Horrible Bosses provides darkly comedic but insightful look of toxic leadership. Dr. Julia Harris and Dave Harkin represents two extreme but real forms of bad leadership, one through harassment and manipulation, and the other through excessive control and psychological abuse. Understanding these behaviors is crucial for anyone entering the workforce, as it helps recognize the signs of toxic leadership and advocates for ethical, fair, healthy work environment. Moving forward, workplace should promote ethical leadership, enforce policies against harassment and abuse, encourage leadership to inspire rather than control. Leadership should be about fostering growth and collaboration, not about fear and dominance. Thank you so much for your time. I hope this presentation provided valuable insight into toxic leadership. I love to hear your thoughts on this. So if you have any questions, you can put them down in the comment section below and I'll try to answer them. Thank you so much. Have a great day.